Hi guys, Darth Deuces here with another Marvel Legends action figure review, and today I have the Marvel Legends series X-Men Omega Red figure. I picked this up at EB Games. I wasn't expecting them to have the Deadpool wave in stock, and they didn't have the whole new Deadpool wave. I think they only had the X-Men Deadpool. They might have had the Underwear Deadpool, Lady Deadpool, and then Omega Red. I was really surprised Omega Red was still there, considering Bishop wasn't. But this is the only figure I wanted from that new wave, this Omega Red. I don't really care much for the other figures. I have enough Deadpools. So yeah. Series in the packaging here. This is the most recent Marvel Legends wave, I want to say. Yeah, but it's pretty much come out alongside a ton of other waves. The Mighty Games had the X-Men wave, the Cull Obsidian wave, the Fantastic Four figures, this X-Men, or this Deadpool wave, the Venom wave. They had like all the recent waves there. Not all of them in their entirety, but a bunch of figures from all the waves. But yeah, so here he is in the packaging. The Build-A-Figure is Dr. Carl Lycos, Marvel Sauron, X-Men logo, X-Men Marvel's Omega Red. Pretty cool image of Omega Red on either side with actually nice ink work going on. An image of the figure. Brief bio, it says a former Russian crime lord and agent, Arkady Rosevich, I might be butchering that name, is used in the Weapon X project, combining mutant abilities with weaponized cybernetic appendages. There's the Sauron BAF, which looks pretty cool, but I'm not building that because I literally don't know who the character is. You got Omega Red, you got the X-Men Deadpool, the Deadpool with the half-masked face, the Wolverine. I completely forgot that was actually a figure in this wave. The Wolverine, X-23 Wolverine, Lady Deadpool, and Bishop. So that's it for the packaging. I'm going to crack this guy open. We'll take a closer look at the figure inside. Alright, I've got Omega Red out of the packaging, and this figure is really cool. I'm not like, I know who Omega Red is. I've read a little bit of the comics, or I mean a little more of the more recent comics and stuff. And even before even reading some of the comics, I know who he is. I know his power set and roughly what he's all about. So aside from I don't really have a character bias with this figure. I think he's cool as a character, but the figure is really well done. I'm pretty sure, well, I know for a fact that the main torso and everything, it's a new buck, new body mold, which is awesome, and you'll see why in a moment. Just really well done, and I really hope that this body starts to become the norm for bigger, bulkier characters. But first of all, taking a look at the head sculpt. The head sculpt is fantastic. Absolutely love how that looks. In terms of costume design, I'm pretty sure it's more or less classic costume design, but at the same time, I don't think Omega Red's costume has really changed a whole lot over the years. Head sculpt is just great. He's got like the red eyes with like really dark blue outlines around them. The eyebrows and the sideburns are painted and sculpted on there pretty well. I love the expression. He's got an angry looking gritted teeth expression. You got like the silver metal pieces on the sides of his cheeks there, which is really cool, or sides of his mouth rather. Teeth look really good as well. My only issue with the face itself is that there's a little bit of yellow paint kind of smudged onto the figure. I'm not sure if that'll just come off or not. I'm gonna guess not. But it's not super noticeable, so it doesn't bother me too much. It does have the headband with the Omega symbol on it. It's really cool. The hair is really nice. This bit up here seems to be pliable, though I wouldn't recommend moving it around too much because just it might snap off. I'm not sure. It's got like the red strap for the braid there. The hair itself is molded, I think, in like this yellow plastic. It's to make blonde colored hair, but it also has a white sort of subtle wash through it to give it more detailed. So that's really, really cool. Absolutely dig that. Rest of the torso, he's got a pretty standard looking muscular torso, but the muscle definition looks good and the proportions look really good. He does have this bandolier and shoulder pads. He's got these big shoulder pads. It's hard to see, but there's a sculpted texture detail there, which is really cool. A little bit of marbleization, but not too bad. You got the straps on the back. There's a peg on the back of the belt, and if you want to, I'm not going to do it, but if you want to, you can unpeg that, and you can remove the whole shoulder armor, chest thing going on. It's got these little capsules here. I'm not sure what they are, but you have those. The red paint on them is a little sloppy, but it's not bad enough to really bother me. He's got these arms here, which are in white, look really good. He's got some veins sculpted in there, which looks great. He does have some subtle smudging, but it's a retail figure, and I'm gonna, for the most part, forgive that. It's not like crazy bad. It's got his gauntlets here, which do have the holes and the ports here for his tentacles, which I will show off in a moment. It's got the gauntlets. I really like the Omega symbol and the silver paint on the gloves or gauntlets. It looks really good. His left hand is sculpted in an open hand, and his right is in a closed fist hand, which is really cool. Then he just got this really swole calves. He's quite the buff boy. And he's got pretty big, or not calves, that's thighs. I don't know my anatomy. The calves are still swole though as well. He's got pretty big feet, which is good for supporting him, and he's got these big knee guards with the silver paint. Looks really, really good. And again, like I said, just a really, really good looking figure. Sculpt and paint. Paint for the most part is pretty good. Sculpt is fantastic. Really, really pleased with this one. In terms of articulation, this is where this figure really shines. This new body mold has some joints that pretty much every other bulky body mold doesn't have, so this is a really cool sort of improvement to so many figures that have come before. But first of all, he does have a ball joint in the head, so he does actually have a little bit of pivot, and you get rotation. The hair is pliable enough so it will get out of the way if you want it to get him looking more to the side. It has a disc hinge, so the hair is actually really pliable enough you can get him looking all the way back, which is awesome, and look quite a bit forward, so that's really good. And then the awesome part of the articulation that this new body mold employs is he has butterfly joints. And we don't see butterfly joints on a body this big for Marvel Legends. So it's really awesome. You can get his arms all the way in, or for the most part all the way in, which is really, really cool. This one gets a little stuck a little bit, but it's not too bad. This one's fine. I know some people said they would have liked Sabretooth and the newer Sabretooth to be on this body mold, and I wasn't sure about that at first, so I don't mind Sabretooth being on the Hyperion body mold. After having this figure in hand, I can wholeheartedly agree. His ball hinges at the shoulders, which move good. It is going to be hindered a bit by the shoulder armor, but, you know, it's not really a big deal. Swivels at the bicep. Double hinges at the elbows, which move in decently considering he's got these big gauntlets. They move past 90 degrees, which is awesome. And it has a swivel and a hinge inward and out at both wrists. It's got an ab crunch, which crunches pretty far forward, and this doesn't get in the way at all. Crunch back as well, which is awesome. Swivel at the waist, which moves great. Ball hinges at the hips, which have a pretty good spread. Kicks out quite high, even though it goes out a little bit. Still pretty good, doesn't really go back too far. Swivels at the thighs. Double hinges at the knees, which move in pretty good considering his swole legs. And hinges at the ankles with rocker joints. So he has great, great articulation. And all the articulation is that satisfying tight, where it's tight enough where it's not super loose and flopping around, but it's also not super tight, so you can still move the joints. So super fantastic to see that. And now on to accessories. First of all, I just come with the BAF piece. Left leg is Sauron. Nicely sculpted. That's the BAF piece again. I'm not going into that. He does come with 2 sets of tentacles. So he comes with these smaller retracted set, which he comes packed in with. So showing that off real quick, there is actually a way. They just plug in. They plug in pretty easily, but they're not going to fall out or anything, so don't worry about that. Like that, and then you can have the smaller retracted ones in if you'd like, so I think that's pretty cool that we get this option to have them just sort of small, like looking like he's about to launch them out or something. So that's pretty cool. But you also get a longer set of tentacles, obviously, because those small ones aren't really functional. And the sculpt on these are pretty good. They just got like some of your standard sculpting and just molded in this silver plastic, but they look good. These bigger ones are molded in this curled shape, so you can get them like wrapped around people's throats and whatnot. But they don't have bendy wire, which people might not be super happy about. I'm pretty impartial. I don't really mind too much. I do think it is possible, though, that if you have them displayed with these long ones, like I found out with Doc Ock, is if you have them displayed where they're out like this, the weight of them. Even though they're not very heavy, they'll still might want to end up start drooping down from gravity, but I'm not sure if these ones will have that issue or not. I just have to wait and see. I'm gonna get the other one plugged in here. And then you can have, yeah, this one's definitely going to droop down. It's a lot heavier in the end. But you can get that going on. I have these big ones. And that looks really, really cool. There's quite a nice length to them. It would have been nice to have bendy wire, but I don't mind it on this figure as much as I mind it on the Dr. Octopus figure. So that is really, really cool. Now I'm just going to pop these out to make things just a bit easier here. Do some size comparisons, because for a single figure, this is a pretty big figure. Yeah, it's glad they didn't make it a BAF, because they probably could have if they wanted to. But it's really cool to get a figure of this size, single packed. So I guess first off, here he is with a standard, around the standard 6-inch figure. Here's a Scourge. And he stands about a full head, or just close to a full head taller than an average 6-inch figure. And he's a lot just bulkier in general, so that's really cool. Here he is next to the recent not Wolverine, Sabretooth figure on the Hyperion body mold. Ever so slightly taller than Sabretooth. It's a little hard for me to show it off, but Sabretooth is just ever so slightly shorter. But I think that this Sabretooth figure would have been really nice on this body mold. But that looks really good. I still think that looks good. I still like this figure too. And here he is next to a BAF. Here's the recent Apocalypse BAF. And Apocalypse is about a head taller. I can't see it well because I have too close. Apocalypse is just about a head taller, but you can just see how big that this Omega Red figure is. He's quite big, and I really do like it. So, moving Apocalypse here. Overall, I really like this figure a lot. I wasn't actually expecting to like it this much, considering I don't have a huge attachment to the character, but I really do enjoy this figure. It might be a contender for the final top 10 of 2018 at the end of the year. Really enjoying this figure. Looks great, sculpt's great, the new body mold's awesome, articulation's great, paint apps are pretty good for the most part, accessories are good. There's not much to complain about here. It's really good. So overall, I definitely recommend it if you're collecting Marvel Legends. If you're really turned off by this character, I guess, if you have absolutely no care for this character, then I guess it's a pass. But I think for the most part, everyone's going to want to get their hands on this one. It's a really good one. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I will see you all in the next video.